Early in the morning in Los Angeles, various people wake up and start their day. Mike Davis, a jewelry thief, carefully removes all traces of hair and DNA from his body. Sharon, who works for a very high-end insurance company, listens to a motivational podcast while checking her sleep quality app, which shows she did not sleep well. At the same time, Detective Lou Lubasnik argues with his wife, Angie, in their small bathroom. A luxury jewelry store hires couriers to transport $3 million worth of diamonds. The couriers carry a fake set of diamonds as a decoy, but Mike first attacks the driver of the escort car and steals the vehicle. He then follows the main courier van to the delivery location. Wearing a ski mask, Mike surprises the couriers and takes their guns and phones. He quickly switches the fake diamonds with the real ones. However, one young courier secretly has a hidden gun and shoots through Mike's car window. Mike does not shoot back and instead escapes to a garage where he leaves his car, changes to another vehicle, and drives away. When Mike returns home, he becomes worried after noticing that broken glass from the car window slightly cut him, meaning he may have left DNA evidence at the crime scene. The next day, Sharon visits the home of a very wealthy client, Stephen Monroe, to evaluate his large and valuable art collection. Stephen is about to marry a much younger woman, and Sharon asks if he would also like insurance coverage for the wedding. At work, Sharon feels that her co-workers do not respect her very much. Her boss, Mark, keeps promising to promote her to partner, but he continues to delay the decision. Meanwhile, Lou and his partner Tillman investigate the robbery scene. Tillman jokes about Lou's car, while Lou believes that several robberies near the 101 freeway were all committed by the same criminal. Mike's fence, Money, suggests that Mike carry out a robbery in Santa Barbara that he recently discovered. However, Mike refuses because he believes the job is too dangerous and could lead to someone getting hurt. One of Mike's strict rules is that he never wants innocent people harmed during his robberies. Money tells Mike to relax and clear his mind, so Mike spends some time with a call girl, although the encounter feels empty and without emotion. Without Mike knowing, Money secretly takes all the information about the Santa Barbara robbery. Mike had originally received the details from his friend Devin, who hacks into insurance company emails. Money then passes the robbery plan to Orman, the son of one of his old criminal partners. During heavy traffic, a woman named Maya accidentally hits the back of Mike's vintage car. They exchange insurance details, and Mike seems shy and uncomfortable while talking to her. Meanwhile, Sharon meets with Lou for work and asks him to give a lie detector test to the jeweler who was recently robbed before the insurance company processes his claim. At the same time, Lou tells the other detectives that all the robberies have similar details. They happen near the 101 freeway, involve no violence, and leave no DNA evidence behind. However, his boss says that connecting the cases is creating extra work and making Lou look like he is not cooperating with the team. He tells Lou to stop pursuing the theory. Orman executes the Santa Barbara robbery in a particularly violent manner. He smashes the jewelry display counters and steals much more than he originally intended to take. At the same time, Mike and Maya continue dating, but Maya starts to realize that she knows very little about Mike's past. She has never seen any pictures of his family or heard much about his life before they met. When Mike sees news reports about the Santa Barbara robbery, he becomes angry and confronts Money. However, Money does not care at all and feels offended that Mike would question him. Mike then decides he will no longer work with Money on future jewelry robberies. Still, Money secretly tells Orman to follow Mike during his next robbery and steal the jewels from him after Mike completes the job. Mike notices Orman watching him and realizes Orman has secretly put a tracker on his car. At the same time, Lou finds the car Mike left in the garage. A crime scene technician tells him that the thief's blood was finally found inside the vehicle, giving the investigation its first real DNA evidence. Meanwhile, Devin hacks into Sharon's email and discovers details about diamond deliveries for Stephen Monroe's wedding. He passes this information to Mike, who later intentionally bumps into Sharon so he can introduce himself. Mike tells Sharon that he is a thief and asks her to help him steal from the insurance company that he feels has never respected her. Sharon is insulted and refuses. Before leaving, Mike tells her to post a photo of a beach on Instagram if she ever changes her mind. Mike then realizes Orman is following him on a motorcycle. A high-speed chase begins. Orman crashes and runs on foot, but Mike catches him. Mike warns Orman that if he keeps coming after him, both Orman and Money will end up dead. Angie tells Lou that she is having an affair. Lou moves out and tries to rebuild his life by starting yoga classes, where he unexpectedly meets Sharon. At the same time, another robbery takes place. Lou and his partner Tillman arrive at the scene where a police officer shoots an unarmed teenage suspect. The officer then plants a gun on the teenager. Lou's boss tells him to report that the suspect was armed, since the other officer and even Tillman are supporting that version of events. He pressures Lou to stand by the officer, but Lou refuses to lie. As a result, all those involved are suspended while the incident is investigated. Meanwhile, Sharon finally confronts her boss Mark about the repeated delays in her promotion to partner. Mark insults her, calling her old and unwanted at 53, and tells her she has no power over him. Later, Sharon posts a photo of a beach on Instagram to signal Mike. The DNA found in Mike's abandoned car leads Lou to discover his real identity, James. Lou tracks down James's former foster mother and convinces her to call Mike. She does, but Mike immediately hangs up when she passes the phone to Lou. Sharon meets with Mike and tells him about Monroe's wedding plans. She explains that expensive jewels are being brought in through the black market as wedding favors to avoid taxes. The total value is $11 million. Sharon agrees to help Mike steal them and says he can keep $3 million while she takes the rest. Meanwhile, Orman attacks Devon to force him to reveal Mike's next target. Orman then goes to Sharon's home and violently assaults her, demanding information about the Monroe robbery plan. At yoga, Lou notices Sharon has a black eye. She tells him what happened. Lou lets her stay at his new apartment while he tries to figure things out. Mike tells Maya he needs to leave town for a while and asks her to wait for him. Maya becomes angry because he is vague and refuses to explain what is really going on. At work, Sharon catches her boss, Mark, lying to another female employee. She walks in and tells the young woman the truth about him. Then she quits her job and tells Mark to leave her alone. On the day of the Monroe courier delivery, Lou secretly replaces the real courier and pretends to be him. Mike picks him up without realizing who he really is and drives him to Monroe's hotel. Orman also gets into the hotel, posing as an employee. When Mike and Lou enter Monroe's room, Mike pulls out a gun and demands the contents of the case. Lou opens it, revealing that he has hidden his own gun inside, and then identifies himself as a police officer. Before anything is settled, Orman walks in with a gun and holds Mike at gunpoint, demanding the diamonds. Orman then turns his gun toward Lou. Mike breaks his rule of never using violence and shoots Orman. Lou allows Mike to escape without arresting him and decides to blame Orman for the robberies. He also warns Monroe that if he reports the incident, his tax violations will be exposed. Lou switches the fake diamonds from the first robbery with Monroe's real diamonds. Later at yoga class, he gives the diamonds to Sharon, and the two share a warm personal moment. Mike sends Sharon a photo meant for Lou. Lou works out where it is and goes there, only to find that Mike has left behind his vintage Chevy Camaro for him. At work, Maya receives a childhood photo of Mike along with a note that says, "I was wrong. I hope it is not too late." Maya smiles as she leaves to find him.